And for those of us watching, we're still not wearing a Guitar Souls t-shirt, but link in the description. Grab yourself a Guitar Souls t-shirt because good way to support us. So why don't we kind of continue? It's nice to talking about legal issues.
Oh, this one's a fucking doozy, isn't it?
This is
and
amazing.
it's a shame as well because the companies involved, one has a very good reputation, and one had a very good upcoming reputation.
I don't think they did. I don't think this.
Really? Okay.
I'll tell you why. And no.
Please.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of products that really piqued my interest, but anyway.
I have one, and it's garbage, but it's fine. Like it. None of the sounds on it are great, but it has 15 effects in a box that big. So, like, if I desperately need an auto wah, I've got one.
Okay, right.
But anyway, Electro-Harmonix and Mooer. Why don't you tell us about this?
Okay, so a story has come out recently, which is I'm not going to lie, I was laughing as I read it. This came forward that basically Electro-Harmonix have won a copyright infringement case against Mooer, and I think the way they went about it was something along the lines of "We have thrown the pirates overboard." I think was the statement made by Electro-Harmonix.
The quote is, after almost 2 years of fighting the Chinese courts have awarded Electro-Harmonix a fixed six-figure judgment. Our victory is now complete and these pirates have walked the plank.
Yes. So, those of you aware of Electro-Harmonix will know they have many, many, many different pedals. Some classic ones are worth a fortune and some more modern ones that do some really cool and weird stuff. Like you've got the POG and you've got...
I've got a C9 in the drawer over there.
I've never really had a play with them. I've had a play with the POG and a POG 2 and just I think I had a...
They do I think the first, if not the second ever pedal I bought was Electro-Harmonix. It was the Qtron 2 or the Qtron Plus. It was an auto wah.
Right, okay.
But decent, like big
yeah. All the pedals are always built like fucking... Like you could hit someone over the head and kill them with it.
I really like the Electro-Harmonix stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I do like a lot of their stuff. They do a lot of interesting stuff.
Exactly.
In my mind, I think I've kind of put them into the digital effects category. Like, they're silly effects, like the C9, the organ simulator pedal is amazing. Like you play with it, you're like, this is cool. But also, it's like, well, I don't want to put that on my board because it. You don't sound like a guitar when you play with that.
If you were in a function or wedding band, or you were a session musician who had to be very versatile, it would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, and
or
that's
if
why
you
I
had your own, and if you had your own kind of but kind of like different band, and you wanted your own sound, that'd be a great thing to put in your effects chain. However, we're digressing for the point. So, Electro-Harmonix, known for having beautiful pedals, big solid motherfuckers, and they're not an unknown brand, let's be honest.
Oh no, they're huge.
They have been going for fucking years and years and years and years and years.
In fact, they've just released their own brand of strings.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Cool. That's okay. Fair play to them. Hopefully that works out well for them. Maybe give them a try. They have
also come out and said that they are being manufactured by one of the top US manufacturers of strings. So it's really just like a rebranding of someone else's strings.
That's it. It's a different packet. That's all right. There's plenty of companies do that. Won't mention who, but you've probably played them and probably do play them. Anyway, as it turns out, there are two pedals from Electro-Harmonix that Mooer have plagiarised, copyrighted, stolen is the best way to put it. So you have, for the Mooer pedals, are called the Moorgen and the Tender Octaver, which are pretty much exact copies of the software used in the C9 organ machine and the Micropog.
Well, this is the magic thing, right? Not pretty much exact copies.
No, it's like
the
bang
software
for buck,
that
dot for
literally
dot.
includes Electro-Harmonix anti-piracy
terms and conditions and whatever else, and the legal.
Let's see if I can find the. Also said to have copied the Electro-Harmonix copyright notice found in the software for the C9 and the Micropog, thus alerting Electro-Harmonix to the infringement.
Silly bastards. I mean, I'm going to say it off the bat. I was excited about quite a few of Mooer's recent stuff. I really like the idea of the wee GE200.
Is that the new multi thing?
Yeah, the three.
Oh, okay. They're bringing out a G300 at NAMM.
Well, the GE200, that's meant to be like the Head Rush or the Helix or whatever else. The 200 was only 3 buttons and an expression pedal, and the thing that got me with it was cheap. The demos made it look really good and versatile, easy enough to use with the touchscreen on it, but you could also load your own IRs.
Okay.
And the other pedal by Mooer that got me interested was the Mooer Radar, which was an IR impulse response pedal. Tiny wee thing, about big maybe on your board. Custom load your IRs on it and you can run a full model and set up from your board. You get a nice preamp.
Very, yeah.
However, I don't think I'll be buying anything anymore from them.
Well, I mean, I'm going to come on to why you probably should buy something from them, but yeah, like I'm looking at this GE300 and I'm sitting there thinking, I mean, line 6, you should investigate. You should get your hands on one of these and check.
Yeah, or Headrush.
Yeah.
Is it who is it that does the 11 in the Headrush? I want to say.
I mean, I enjoyed that face, but make it some more.
It's a good thumbnail for the video.
Yeah. The thing that really interests me about this, I don't actually know if this lawsuit was the smartest of ideas, and this comes on to why you probably should buy more stuff, right? One, I can't imagine how expensive it would have been for Electro-Harmonix to sue Mooer, because ready to be accused of racism, right? Mooer are in China, and the Chinese do not give a fuck about international copyright law.
Generally speaking, yes.
They do not care. So I am amazed that Electro-Harmonix have managed to get a Chinese court to just go, cool, fair enough. Because you can, the sheer amount of like games consoles that are manufactured in China that are just, that's just the PlayStation in a different box.
Let's even just look at it this way. AliExpress, Wish,
yeah,
and the amount of shit that's now on Amazon from both those sites.
Yeah, and just like they just
Alibaba's another one.
They just don't seem to care out there. Like the courts just don't seem to care. So, for someone at Electro-Harmonix to actually go out and do something about this, hats off to you.
Absolutely.
I should point out that the thing I really enjoyed actually from reading this is the art of pedal cloning has become common practice in recent years. And although it's difficult to copyright an analog circuit board, software infringement is one of the ways which companies can take action. So by having software in your pedals, you are protecting yourself more so than if you are wiring things point to point.
Yes.
And this leads us on to a subject that I hadn't prepared you on that I was going to mention today.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, he loves a wee surprise, that boy.
There are allegations of theft of designs on the amp building community at the moment. From which way do I want to do this? Shall I name the person that he's accusing, or should I name the person that's been accused? You know what? I'm going to fill in the blanks. I'm going to name the person that's been accused. Maybe you people can go out and work out who the accuser is. But it has been accused. Oh, you're going to hate even hearing this. Hate even it's not Rev, don't worry. Fortin.
Mike Fortin's been accused?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's relatively cut and dry by the looks of things. But what it ultimately comes down to with Fortin is we're talking about
PCB boards?
We're talking about point-to-point wiring, analog circuitry.
Right.
So it's very difficult to lay any sort of copyright claim to something that you've designed if it's all point-to-point wired. And as seems the case with the Fortin stuff, it seems to be a tiny modification on something that someone else is doing, something that was purchased from the company. Loads of questions were asked to the company, like, what's this? How do you do this? And then he's gone and just built that.
I mean, that's always been the case for modders and communities when it comes to guitar amps. Yeah,
exactly, which is why I'm not going to give Mike Fortin any shit. I just feel it's a shame for the other companies, very small company, like, 1,000 fans on Facebook type small. Yeah, has some notable endorsers, but yeah, I'll tell you afterwards, but... Yeah, I wanted to, kick up more of a fuss about that, but this kind of highlights why it's less of an issue, because the modification and copying of point-to-point wiring and pedals is commonplace. Like, just look at like Keeley Electronics.
I was just going to say that would bring Keeley very much into the limelight for the amount of pedals they've modified 100 times over.
Yeah, or Analog Man. Like Analog Mike at Analog Man, he's one of the best modders out there, and now he's got all of his own designs of pedals, and of course, like pedals like the King of Tone, like these are just desirable pedals. But you name me a high quality pedal company that doesn't do a clone of a Tube Screamer, or that doesn't do a clone of a Klon Centaur. I want a Wampler Tumnus. Actually, I don't, but yeah, I don't want a Wampler. Yeah, but. That Tumnus is just a clone of the Centaur, if you like.
Which is easily the most overpriced pedal on the planet.
Yeah, But it's a similar type thing with the Analog Man King of Tone. It's a really expensive pedal and it's like a 2-year wait list. So people copy it, and it's just, amplifier companies have done it with cloning the Dumbles, and it's just the way things are done.
Seriatone, etc.
Yeah, but where he points out that software infringement can protect you. So I thought that was really interesting. Very smart on Electro-Harmonix's from their position. Mm-hmm. But I guess my point is, the reason this might not have been very smart is, cool, just go out and buy more products then, because they're dirt cheap, and the chances are you're just getting circuitry from someone else.
Just for legal purposes, we do not endorse you buying from companies that are clearly stealing and circumventing the nature of the law.
Also, I'm being a bit silly because
it's like facetious, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that. Like I say, I own a Mooer pedal, and it's not the best. It's not the best at all.
That weird kind of multi-effects one that you can pick one of whatever
20 modulation effects. It's a tiny little thing, same size as one of those.
Yeah,
it's got 20 effects.
It's half a pedal basically.
Yeah, so yeah, kind of cool, but not the best sound quality. There's other companies like Joyo. They do that type of thing.
They do, yeah. I think they are just Moors with different names on them.
Oh, okay. The Joyo US Dream was a really popular pedal right when the Sur Riot came out. Mm-hmm. Have you seen the Joyo US Dream?
Don't think so. I'm guessing it's got exactly like a Sur Riot.
Yeah.
The other ones were the Hotone pedals. You remember them?
Yeah.
They were like quarter size with the knob at the top. Weird. Oh, I wonder what that looks like. That's blatant, isn't it? Then again,
look at the price on it, mate.
Look, let's even just go back a step. Behringer.
Yeah.
Behringer became a giant company by copying everyone and then buying them when they had enough money. No, they did. That's not a lie.
Yeah. So there's the Electro-Harmonix thing. I thought that was quite funny and made me happy. So yeah, cool. There are other kind of NAMM related stories though, and the one that made me giggle the most is so how is this pronounced?
Ruokangas, I believe.
Ruokangas.
I believe so.
The Valve Bucker, the first ever tube-driven electric guitar pickup.
Yep. I'll read this. So,
yeah.
In one of the more WTF announcements of the show, Finnish luthier Ruokangas has unveiled the Valve Bucker, which it claims is the first and only tube-driven electric guitar pickup in the world. By using relatively low voltages, the Valve Bucker makes use of sweet spots found outside typical operational points of vacuum tubes, says Ruokangas. The unit itself features a tube-amplified active preamp circuit utilising triode and pentode NOS tubes, and is powered by an XLR cable running from a floor unit, fueled by a 12-volt AC power supply. So that would be
similar. Yes, you've already lost me at that point.
Similar to like having a tube microphone and putting phantom power through the XLR.
Yep.
You're basically just, a voltage through into that tube. That floor unit features two inputs and a true bypass AB switch to alternate between a Valve Bucker equipped electric and regular guitars, which is quite a clever wee point to put in there, because it means then you're not just buying this guitar and there's nothing else you can use in your signal chain.
Yep.
On the guitar itself, volume and tone controls are complemented by a 3-way switch and 2-way boost switch. We know guitarists love their tubes, but as integrating them at the very first stage in the signal chain one step too far, it results in a wide tonal spectrum and organic dynamics, according to Ruokangas, but we can't wait to hear for ourselves.
Stop.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Stop. So, like a bold move. It's a novelty move, and I kind of appreciate the novelty aspect of this. There was a point where Seymour Duncan released, were they the Zephyr pickups? They were wound with silver wire or something like that, and they were like £400 a pickup or something like that. maybe more. Which again is like a nice gimmicky thing that people are going to buy into.
Mm-hmm.
And this is super gimmicky. In a day and age where guitarists, not as a whole, but there's a huge move away from valves. Guys using solid state modelers.
Oh, and getting incredible results. You get your Kemper here, and it's staggering. It just sounds like the amplifier you're playing.
Yeah. So, in a market where everyone is moving into away from valves, these guys not only think people still want to go for valves, but they also think they want valves on their guitars. Mm-hmm. Valve-driven pickups.
To be fair to them, they're maybe thinking along the lines of someone like Blackstar with their valve-driven pedals. They've done all right out of them. However, the gulf of difference in price.
Yeah, so this is what annoys me, right? You mentioned, I read this article, but somehow that the price at the bottom eluded me. I didn't read that, and you mentioned how expensive they were.
And you almost shit.
So this would have been the prime example of, you should bring stories like this into the show and not tell me about them, because you can't do a like guess how much this costs thing, because I know, right? And even then I can't believe it. So for anyone watching this, please take a moment, maybe leave a comment below to let us know how much you believe a Ruokangas valve bucker, or whatever they call the damn thing.
Valve bucker,
how much one of these is. And then in 30 seconds, your comment will be there for you to realise how far off you were. So, Mike, continue.
So, the very last sentence of this Music Radar article reads, the valve bucker will be available as a custom option on Ruokangas guitars for an additional €1,200. €1,200. What's that going to be, about $1,800?
I was just going to check dollars, because
it's not going to be far off £1,200 in pounds either. 1,200. Sorry, staggering.
It's $1,400.
Oh, $1,400. Okay,
yeah. £1,100.
£1,100. Okay, so for the price of another full fucking guitar,
I also hate it. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, £1,100, €1,200, $1,350. Like, we were almost at 1-to-1 parity on currencies,
which is not good.
That's all right for me. Most of my income comes from abroad.
Yeah, that's great for you. It's not great considering the strength of the pound keeps dropping.
Yes.
However, that's getting into fucking politics and economics, and fuck that. What do you think about the Ruokangas valve bucker and its price tag? I can't even make a comment on the price tag other than it's a price tag.
Well, the thing is, it's an additional €1,200 on top of a custom order from Ruokangas.
Of course.
So I assume they don't offer. I assume you can't buy a valve bucker on its own to put in your own guitars.
No idea, and I will say, and this is completely personal, I think it looks fucking terrible. I don't mean that as any disrespect to them. I generally don't like the who's it that did the pickups that are quite similar with the foil tops on them. Rickenbacker.
Yep.
With a kind of almost like a metal grate over the top of it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I don't think that aesthetic works on a lot of guitars. And I think having a big circular, what looks like one of those pig nose speakers in the centre of your guitar as the pickup and the two valves that glow is great. Saying that though, the guitars that you're looking at just now are gorgeous.
So this is exactly what I'm going to say. You know what? How bad would it be for them to make a product that they know is dreadful and doesn't work? I'm not saying that that's the case, but if that were the case, make a product that's dreadful and doesn't work. Price it up at such a high price that literally no one is going to buy it, but it be an opportunity for you to send out some PR to people that are going to publish it everywhere, because it's crazy. And then, because I'd never heard of Ruokangas before this.
I've heard the name a few times, but I wasn't aware of their guitars.
I'm just on their site now and taking a look at some of their guitars, and yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, they make some.
That's a very, very tasteful looking Les Paul.
As far as Les Pauls go, I don't know why I picked this Les Paul.
Wait a minute. What? I have got a gut feeling that Alex Skolnick played a Ruokangas.
Okay.
I'm sure he had a signature unicorn. Because remember he played those Les Pauls that weren't Les Pauls?
Yeah. I mean, this is a nice looking guitar. What do you think of that?
Which one? All three of them?
I can't decide. Aeon Deluxe.
Sewer.
Yeah.
Tom Anderson-ish? Not Sewer. I'm not saying it is exactly a Sewer, but they're very similar. However, they're gorgeous. They look as if they've been made very well with nice materials.
Yeah, it's a nice looking guitar.
Know what it reminds me of? See that kind of two-stage headstock? Reminds me of the older Golden stuff.
Sure. That's it's not the worst. I don't mind that at all.
That's not the worst at all. The green one's gorgeous.
I wonder how much these are.
That emerald one, that's something else.
Yeah. See how much one of these goes for. So apparently these are in stock. Okay, so there's no price.
I think no, it wasn't a real Kangas. I think it was a heritage.
Oh no. Alex was playing Waghorn.
You sure?
Yeah.
Since when? Because he was a ESP. Who are you thinking, Alex Hutchins?
Who did you do?
Alex Skolnick.
Oh, sorry.
From Testament.
Sorry. Yeah. Look, that's nice, mate.
That is nice. That's really nice, actually.
So yeah, Ruo Kangas, good work, guys.
Beautiful.
I don't know how I feel about the pickup.
If it's just PR, you have nailed it.
Yeah. Communication tool for your soul. So yeah, beautiful looking guitars. Crazy pickup though, you lunatics.
Listen, what I will say is I'd be interested to see how it hears. See how it sounds, rather.
Yeah.
How it hears.
Well, that's the other mad thing. Like all of this PR and no clips. It's mad. Just madness.
It might end up being fucking incredible.
This is just another quick one. HMV, his master's voice, the CD shop, legendary in the UK.
Yep.
Our last remaining high street CD, music shop where you could go and buy music. They went into administration again.
And you commented this on the post I'd put on before about the fact that it goes into administration, someone bails it out, and somebody's got a lump in their pocket by the looks of things.
They have received offers to buy or to rescue them.
Yes.
I think it's a terrible idea to rescue them. Not because I don't love HMV. Like I have lots and lots of memories of visiting HMV right up until through university.
Totally.
The HMV store in London, especially the jazz section downstairs, like they had couches in there. And if I was on Oxford Street and I had time to kill, I would just go down into the basement of HMV and sit on those couches and listen to music, listen to whatever the people working were putting on. And I discovered a load of great music just from doing that. So, very cool. And
that's what you should have from music shops. They should be warm and welcoming and an environment where you can learn. You're outside your comfort zone without being uncomfortable.
Yep. Unfortunately, the reality of the situation is CDs and physical media is just dying. Like people aren't buying it, and that's been reflected in the way HMVs look when you go in them now. They stock comic books and Funko Pop figures and
T-shirts, posters.
But they're just filling up with anything that isn't physical media because people just aren't buying CDs. But was there something you wanted to comment on specifically in this article?
Just about that article there. That's the one that I posted originally, wasn't it? There's an article called HMV Money Go Round, which was posted Sunday, December 30th, 2018, and that's on voxboxmusic.co.uk. I don't know if you want to go through this. Well, let's go through it. I posted this originally, and I don't think we spoke about it before because we weren't sure what the news was on HMV, where it was going, will it not. And obviously, this is someone's opinion on the scenario, but there is there's some questions to be asked about whether HMV should be saved, not because it's not an institution for the music industry and the high street in Britain, but there's questions. So I'll just read through it if you want to stop me at any point.
Well, so what I would say is it's a long article. If we could jump to the key points in it, just purely based on the fact that I think maybe only 20%, if we're lucky, of our audience will know who HMV is. Cool.
Well, I'll let you steam ahead if you can remember which parts are. I've not read it since we originally posted it, so I'd be hard-pressed to find the
exact
All right,
I'll blast for it. So HMV had gone into administration again. There was a Guardian article saying how we don't need HMV anymore. And the response from labels, music distributors, blah, 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 independent shops is that it's not a good thing for the music industry as a whole. But I don't want to get into that because that's not really, this is not really a story about a high street chain that can't compete with Amazon downloads, which is obviously true. Like that's their problem. They can't compete with Amazon. It's a story about the short-term thinking of vulture capitalist companies and tax-efficient licensing agreements. So already this is like quite a heavy article, but strictly speaking, the company that owns HMV has gone into administration. The company is called HMV Retail. After a quick look at their publicly available accounts, I see that it took a loan of £8 million at an 8% interest rate a few years ago. Over the past few years, the company has been losing money, which was fine for them as they had that loan and others that to help keep things ticking over. They're not putting much away for the pensions of the 2,000 plus employees, £300,000 a year, or about £150 each. They were also somehow managing to pay £5 million a year to another company, HMV the brand. This is a very profitable company that doesn't seem to do much. It is not. It is very much not in administration. So HMV, the company, HMV Retail, is in administration, not HMV the brand. Is that what we're getting at here? Also pays very little tax on its millions of earnings due to its group tax relief, whatever that is. So HMV Retail is bust, while lots of money has left the company to HMV the brand in what I presume is a shady licensing agreement. See, he's good at this. He's put in, I presume,
It's just his opinion. As when we say in our opinion, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Both companies are owned by Hilco, who presumably don't care about music. One is designed to be profitable. The other, well, that one will take out the loans, and so survival doesn't matter as much. So there's another article. Get rid of the company, get rid of the debt, is what EMI did years before when they sold the HMV part of their business off with £100 million of debt that they probably, in case lawyers are reading, see, he knows what he's doing.
Of course.
Had no plan to repay.
Yep.
So before continuing on, like, this is, I'm not saying this is the same as what happened with Abassi guitars and shit like that, but you know, for people that don't have experience in what running a business is, and who actually accrues debt in the case of a business, like, it's so much more complicated, and there are so many more options available to people that own a business, that it can be used and abused. People can take advantage of the way these things run, and I think that's, I was going to say it's shitty, but I guess it's just kind of the way it is, like tax avoidance versus tax evasion.
Those are both the same thing. I don't care what anybody says. But yeah, in the eyes of the law, shitty avoidance.
So physical music sales have been declining, but relatively slowly. Netflix and video streaming has led to plummeting DVD sales. Your secondhand DVDs are becoming worthless, which is absolutely true. Maybe that came as a surprise to them, but I think that HMV as a shop on the high street was not meant to survive under Hilco's stewardship. It was a handy vehicle for them to take money out while eventually screwing their creditors, employees and the taxpayer who have to pick up the pension bill. Of course, HMV was going to struggle against downloads, and on an individual level, many store managers and employers will have done their best to make money on the high street. I mean, I'm just reading, like, not even in sentences here. I'm just saying words. I'm looking for details. Because to be fair, like, it's a good article, and I would, what is it, Voxbox Music?
Yes.
You know, people should go and check this stuff out, because clearly someone's put some time into getting some research and having a good opinion. And I don't want anyone to think that this podcast is really just about us taking things that other people have written and just reading them to you. Like,
no, of course
this is work that someone's done. Go read it.
It's valid points that I didn't know until I saw the article.
Yeah.
And the next 4 or 5 paragraphs are very interesting as well. The total spend on music and entertainment, including downloads and streaming, is still steady at $5 billion a year. People are still paying for music. HMV perhaps did not try very hard to break into the digital side, as that would have cost money. The timing, just after they sold potentially millions of pounds of vouchers to capitalise on the Christmas market, they saw it coming. They did. They sacked their auditors, Deloitte, in November. The borrowed money, that $8 million is due to be paid back in early 2019. Oft perfect timing, and a reminder, if you see a fixed 5-year type investment paying 8%, to stay well clear. What to expect? Well, HMV and the public knows it will be rescued. A new company will be set up and rents will be renegotiated. Some shops will close, new loans will be taken out, and we start the game with money being siphoned to a side company that licenses the HMV name. This is an unhealthy way of doing business.
I'll just jump in and say he probably should have said in his opinion.
Yeah, it has
he's stating it there.
Yeah. The next sentence it does say, perfectly legal, but in my opinion pretty immoral and causing a lot of worry to many in the wider music industry, which will continue for many months. I am not sure if more people supporting the high street and shopping HMV would have saved it, just further lined the pockets of Hilco.
Yeah, shady. And as predicted, offers have come in for HMV.
Aye. It's the money go round. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
As he says, he just quoting a Kinks song, the money go round. The music business has always had a shady side as far as contracts go, as this Kinks tune explains.
Yeah.
For those with a sense of deja vu, I wrote about HMV demise in 2013. So the same thing written about 5 years before. Jesus.
So Voxbox, check them out. That's it genuinely is a really good article. So
Yep.
and they appear to be in Edinburgh. So.
Yeah, I think they'll probably be an independent place. So good on them.
Yeah. Odd. Here's a fun one. I really enjoyed this. I don't know if you actually read this when I posted this. Not really of much interest to me, but in my Arch Enemy video, I was talking about this idea of if like Donald Trump, for example, was using an Arch Enemy song in his campaign, like Arch Enemy would take issue with that, and they would try and do something about that.
As is their right.
Yeah, and as was it Donald Trump? Someone certainly did use Twisted Sister's "We're Not Going to Take It" as a kind of like anti-establishment thing. Like, we're tired of the way it is. Things need to change. And Dee Snider, I'm sure it was Donald Trump because he approved it. He endorsed Donald Trump's usage of it. It's like, fair enough. Like, I might not agree with your politics on everything, but okay, kind of thing.
And that's his right. If he decides someone can use that without license, okay.
Yeah. So Clive Palmer calls for Twisted Sister's frontman's visa to be cancelled after a copyright row. Right, so
sounds like the law to me.
This is honestly, there's an amazing turn at the end of this, right? So, I won't read through it. I'm gonna give you a basic idea of the story because I don't want to be here all damn day. But so Dee Snider posted on Twitter, it's worse than that. Someone asked, pointed out that Clive Palmer, who is what, New Zealand,
Australia,
yeah, okay,
United Australia Party,
same country,
politician.
Yeah, essentially just wanted to use the song. And did use it without license, I believe. So had contacted the publishing company about licensing the song, which means that they were aware that they had to license it. Then were told that there is a licensing, what the licensing fee was. They went off and recorded the song without a license.
Yeah, because they changed the lyrics to Australia ain't gonna cop it.
Yeah, thinking that just because we don't use the original recording, no problem, right? Right. So, again, Levi in lawyer mode. Well, it's just Levi knowing how the music business works, right?
Yes.
When it comes to a recording, when it comes to a song, there are two areas that are owned, right? There's the publishing, i.e. the song that somebody has composed, but then there's also the recording, the mechanical recording of it. The record label owns the recording, but they don't own the song that's been recorded, right? So if you decide that you want to license the actual song, then you need to pay for the publishing. You need to pay to license the mechanicals. Like, you have to, everyone gets paid. If you decide, actually, we love the original song, but we don't like that particular recording, maybe we want a woman singing it, or we want to adjust the words a little bit so it's a little bit more suitable, you still have to pay for the publishing because someone wrote the song.
Yep, so it's their melody, it's their rhythm, it's their...
Bingo. So, have you read this, by the way?
No.
Okay, right. So, honestly, it gets absolutely amazing. Basically, what it
to
comes
be fair, in this Dee Snider, it generally does. As much as I don't like Twisted Sister and I think he's crazy, he is a very intelligent man. And when it comes to taking people down, he is fucking good at it. Yes.
So, here's the amazing part, right? In a statement released on Tuesday, Clive Palmer claimed that We're Not Going to Take It was not actually an original Twisted Sister song, but rather a rip-off of a centuries-old hymn. The song We're Not Going to Take It is an alleged musical work, was not written by Dee Snider, Clive Palmer claimed. The music was originally arranged as an a cappella piece for the hymn O Come All Ye Faithful, first composed in the mid-1700s. Others may have documented the instrumentation, but the melody was always present. As Twisted Sister have never remunerated the original arranger, we do not understand how they have any claim to its copyright. It seems Universal Music Group have been misled at their time of paying the group's frontman Dee Snider money for something he never owned. Maybe Universal should consider commencement of proceedings against Dee Snider or seek a refund of any money that they have paid to him. That is the boldest claim that I have ever heard in my entire life, because da 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 da. That is not. We're not going to take it.
It's not. It's
you
similar,
might go that the first 4 or 5 notes have the same contour.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, it's in the same key by the sounds of things for you singing it.
I mean, it could be put in any key, and it's
but it's like, it's like fucking coincidence shit is not the same as that's a rip off.
I feel like
Does that mean that the first person to use like a fucking 4-chord progression owned that 4-chord progression for every song that's ever existed?
Here's where things become dangerous though, because people are starting to win copyright lawsuits on songs for chord progressions.
Ed Sheeran and who else was it?
Was it James Brown or
James Brown's Estate? Maybe.
Yeah, it was an old funk tune, and it was all these things are scary. It's not rock and metal, so
it was a Ike Turner. Let's Get It On.
No, I mean potentially, but that's not the one I'm thinking.
If it's your talking about the Ed Sheeran one, it definitely is.
Oh, I'm not talking Ed Sheeran.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, that's the point. Like, this thing just seems to be happening over and over and over again.
Spiraling out of control.
Rick Beata was talking about it. Yeah. So. That's not
the same as We're Not Gonna Take It.
That is that first part, but then as soon as you do that next bit, totally different.
We're not gonna take it anymore.
Right? Totally different. And then when you factor in the important part, which Clive demonstrating he doesn't have a fucking understanding about how music works. When it's described as a cappella, what he really means is without instruments, right? Mm-hmm. But just because something is a cappella, that doesn't mean that there's no sense of harmony. The voices that sing with it create the harmony, create the implied chord changes. So the chord changes are there, and spoilers, they're not the same as We're Not Going to Take It.
No, they're not.
It's a totally different song. And I thought it was absolutely fucking laughable that he was trying to claim that. And then also saying, because of this, Dee Snider's visa should be revoked from coming to Australia.
I mean... Is it bad that I'm going to say outright that that's just what I expect from politicians and like the modern world?
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm not right? Well, I'll need to change the laws to make sure I am right, or find some sort of slimy, shitty way to work around it. That is...
Well, if there's one thing I can say from checking out Dee Snider's Twitter, I mean, I think I know what's going to happen with this. He's not going to take it.
Anymore?
Not anymore.
Nah. I think he invited... What was the name of the... Clive Palmer, I'd say, Come and Feel the Noise.
Yeah, just amazing, just absolutely amazing. It's such a short, like it's not interesting. I wanted to do a full video on it, and I was literally going to play both of the melodies and shit, and do a bit more Adam Neely or Rick Beata about it. But I don't care about Australia enough. I've got friends in Australia, and I certainly don't care about Twisted Sister or Dee Snider enough for it to, you know. But it's certainly funny, so I'm
looking forward to keeping an eye on it to see what Dee Snider comes back with, if he decides to actually fucking retort in any way. Because anytime someone's poked the bear with Dee Snider that I remember story-wise, he has come back and ruined them.
I mean, let's just quickly check his Twitter.
Okay. Oh, he's got a podcast.
Can't see anything about.
Nah, it doesn't seem as if he gives a shit. Which is...
Oh no. So that I mean, yeah. So for anyone not watching, I'll bring it up on screen. Someone's just tweeted at Dee Snider and pointed out that Clive Palmer has said that sent a completely unsolicited text to people in Australia saying that when elected, United Australia Party will ban unsolicited political text messages.
Which Labour and Liberal have allowed. It's disgusting they've allowed that, but that's how I've texted you.
Yeah. Just... at least Dee Snider did actually respond to it with an unsolicited... Yeah, so he doesn't say... He's called him mentally challenged. Champion. Oh no, so it definitely is still going. Look.
Yeah, it seems to be that Clive Palmer's been announced as one of the 20 richest people in Australia for 1.8 billion. 3 years ago, 800 people out of work, 300 million debt, company collapse. He's a stain on our society and should be banned from politics.
Yeah, Dee Snider called him a huckster, so
it's not good, is it?
Okay, so this is making me happy that he is fighting it a little bit, but I think ultimately, yeah, he doesn't need to. Dee Snider doesn't need the money, does he? Just doesn't need the money. And he's made this guy look a fool. So, well, actually, he's let this guy open his mouth and make himself look a fool. So.
Yeah. He just gave him the rope.
We've talked about bad journalism just before we do our final section on the Total Guitar magazines. I found some. I don't know if this is bad journalism or just lazy journalism. I just really don't know. But the Business Insider just released an article on January 10th, right, titled "Fender recently came out with an affordable version of its most iconic electric guitar." and here's what it's like to use.
I mean, they've had quite a lot of affordable versions of that guitar for 60 years.
Yeah. Is this going to be like cheaper than like a Squire Bullet?
It's definitely not going to be good to play.
Right. Fender's new Player Series electric guitar are some of the most affordable professional quality instruments available today.
Lies.
Company has been making the Stratocaster for more than 60 years, with its first model released in 54. That is true, to be fair. The Player Series features a classic styling that nods to the instrument's long heritage, as well as new features such as dual tone controls and a 22 fret neck.
Those things that have been on Strats for years and
Yeah.
years and 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 years and
So
years.
in 2018, Fender launched its Player Series, a slate of instruments including multiple guitars and basses, all priced well under $700. In case you're not sure, let me be clear. That's a great price for a great guitar.
But is it a great guitar? You haven't even reviewed it yet.
Yeah.
How much did Business Insider get paid inside their own fucking wallets?
Yeah. I mean, what makes it so like high quality wood, careful craftsmanship, credit where credit is due. Who wrote this? Stephen John. You have made this complete and utter non-news sound really, really groundbreaking. The sad thing is, this will probably sell a lot of guitars for Fender, because people that read Business Insider that know nothing about guitars will go, "Oh, cool! I'm going to jump on this while I've got the chance."
Yeah, probably thinking, "Oh, that'd be something I can keep and be worth having a hold of."
But $650, the Strat retails for, like that's hardly like deal of the century.
No, it's silly. There'll be better guitars out there for the same money.
Yeah. So, where are they made? Actually,
Those ones, they'll be Korean, I would think, and that's not an attack on them. Like, the stuff coming out of Korea these days isn't bad, definitely not.
How can we find out? Will that be on?
I'll tell you on their site actually. Yeah, probably tell you in the headstock. You can get a picture of it.
Satin finish neck. Paraferro fret. Oh, so no mention of the fact that it's a Paraferro fretboard. Do you think they'll have it listed on their site?
I would like to think so.
Oh, MN.
It did say something like previously Mexican guitars only had 21 fret X, so
I just think that they tend to specs maybe. I don't think they tend to say where they're manufactured. I mean, it's going to be Mexican, isn't it? Of course it's going to be Mexican. It's a £500 Strat. Like,
get a picture of it and see if you can zoom in the headstock. I'll tell you on the serial number. Made in Mexico.
Made in Mexico, yeah. So it's a Mexican Strat. So thanks, Business Insider, for drawing our attention to these revolutionary new Fender Stratocasters made in Mexico.
One extra fret.
Yeah. It's almost like I have a Mexican Strat Mexican Telecaster just sitting around here. I didn't realise it was so ahead of the curve.
You should be in Business Insider. I think you should. You should start writing articles.
We are the insiders. So before we do Total Guitar, anything else to mention?
I think that was all the articles we looked through, wasn't it?
We didn't even bother going on the sites and checking for news today.
Didn't need to.
I mean, that Abassi one is just too juicy, wasn't it?
Oh, it's just...
So, pick out these magazines. I'll leave this to you.
Okay. So...
Because I allowed you to pick.
You did, yes. I was allowed, gracefully allowed. So, as from the last episode, Levi and I have went through this beautiful stack of Total Guitar magazines with some real nostalgia and heritage involved. And Levi's went through them already, made some marks of things that he found quite fun and funny. And as you were saying as well, like, obviously that magazine's the one that you remember, the first one you ever read.
When was that?
When was that? February 2003.
February 2003. So that's like probably like the month that I started playing guitar.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, okay, probably the month I started playing guitar, but I didn't own a guitar at that point.
Okay, yep. And you said it was a friend of yours who played guitar that kind of got you into it?
Yeah, I would have got, my first guitar would have been like Christmas 2003 then, I would imagine.
What was your first guitar?
A Washburn BT9. And we talked about your ESP.
F50.
Yeah.
I've still got that. I'm going to bring that one night. Yeah. Right? Bring it around.
The Washburn BT9 that I gaffer taped.
Oh, disgusting, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of gaffer tape, right on off the bat, this episode or this
This is a classic Turtle guitar.
Yeah, this one is a belter. So right on the cover, you've got Slipknot, The Offspring, Joe Satriani, three guitar gods together, talking exclusively to Total Guitar.
They interviewed each other, which is such a nice idea.
Guitar gods.
I mean, to me back then, yes.
To anybody that read Total Guitar, probably.
Guess I didn't put it together, or like maybe I should point this out to artists that like aren't that into magazines and stuff. But those three being on the cover of this magazine shaped who I would become as a guitar player.
That's very true.
And it was totally subconscious. Like those three were my heroes for such a long time.
And it's understandable because you had Noodles, who was quite cool. Obviously, you gaffer taped your guitar. You had Mick for Slipknot, who could shred but generally didn't. Was just this big monolithic fucking badass that played the heaviest music you've heard, like that could have been considered mainstream at the time. And then you get Satch, who's just this cool laid back guy that could shred like fuck.
Yeah, I borrowed that magazine and Surfing with the Alien from my girlfriend's dad at the time. I still have that CD, his copy of that CD. Yeah. And yeah, I listened to it all the time. Absolutely loved it. So to see those three guys. So what have I? Oh yeah.
That one, that's the one that I laughed at.
Oh no! So yeah, I mentioned this, right? I mentioned this, and I got it wrong. It wasn't regarding Arch Enemy. It was regarding this. Did you read this?
No, I didn't, but I did see it.
So the image, right? So in their opening features, they they do little interviews with up and coming bands, and the first band I saw was Killswitch Engage.
Yes.
With Adam playing guitar. So it had moved beyond the point where he was playing drums in the band.
Yes.
But he's playing a Strat in the image. So I thought, oh, that's interesting, right? So read through it. You'll see somewhere around here they talk about guitars that we play.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Do you want to find the guitar part specifically?
Yeah.
Hold on a wee second.
All this dead air. This is.
I know it's always great, isn't it? Adam uses a Strat, while Joel prefers a Paul Reach Smith.
Yeah, a Paul Reach Smith.
Actually, we've just done a deal with Comparison Guitars, so we're going to be switching over to them really soon. It should be cool. We were on tour recently with a band who used them and got a chance to try them out. We are very happy about that.
Yeah. So it's just glorious. That is so glorious for several reasons. Like one,
when you get a Paul Reach Smith,
I'd love a Paul Reach Smith, mate.
What I try compare it to my Comparison?
It's so good because, like I say, for several reasons. One, it's just funny to see Adam playing a Strat, and just the idea that he actually was out touring in Killswitch Engage playing a Strat.
Yeah, when he wasn't playing drums.
Insane. That he ever thought that was going to be appropriate.
Especially when you've got a guy who, all credit where credit's due, shaped the sound of modern mainstream metal. Like he did.
Yeah.
Not only studio-wise, but guitar tone-wise. Let's be very clear here. Yeah. Adam D started that extremely clean, punchy... He did a lot of production with
other people helping them get their sounds as well. So,
totally. I think he'd done a lot of music recording. Like a lot. Yeah. He's credited quite a few things.
But for a guitar magazine to fuck up Paul Reed Smith...
And Comparison guitars.
Well, to be fair, at this time, I imagine Comparison weren't... No one really knew who Comparison were. I would have found out about them... All right, okay. Evidently, for almost the entire time I've been playing guitar, I've wanted a Comparison, because like a few months after this, Arch Enemy were in there. And
of course you want a Comparison. They're beautiful.
Yeah. But the thing that warms my heart about this is 2003, and they still play Comparison guitars, and they both have signature models with them. That cool, only came out last year.
Yeah, so that is cool.
That's loyalty. We like that.
What I would also laugh about is the fact that the image of the two of them is Adam's playing the Strat, and Joel has actually got a PRS in hand. So they've went out and got that picture, that image, and still got the name of the guitar wrong. No one's went, that's not a Paul Reach Smith. That's a Paul Reed Smith. No one in this established guitar magazine who, on the front cover, have three rather large names in the music industry. Do you know what I mean?
But none of them play those garbage...
Paul Reach Smiths?
Paul Reach Smiths.
I know. Doesn't even get a comparison.
So, who bids in the album reviews?
Nothing comparison.
So really, I should have tagged a lot more content in these.
Yeah.
No. But I was really just going for the things that seemed interesting.
To be honest, I'm kind of relying on.
There's a Paul Gilbert interview, and I didn't even tag. I mean, I couldn't be asked to sit and read interviews to people.
Paul Gilbert, man, just a fucking animal, isn't he? Oh,
No, it's weird. Oh, okay.
there we go.
So who's in there?
Biohazard. 3 out of 5. It's very generous. Default, never heard of them. The Go-Betweens, don't know who those are. The Helicopters, don't know them. Yes, In Me, Overgrown Eden.
In Me's debut album. So I read the tag that they say for it, or why you should listen to it, whatever it is at the bottom.
Why buy? You like your rock intense but largely inoffensive. So what do you know? These guys are going to be huge.
I mean, they couldn't have been more wrong about any of that, could they? They were like, that album was huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
Sold really, really well.
I remember them being played on Scuzz and Kerrang and maybe even MTV, especially Crush Like Fruit and
Firefly was constantly
on your right.
Underdose was being played.
Underdose too. Yep.
Those
so they were on all the time.
And then Neptune came out and they played that a little bit more. Not a little bit more. They played that a little bit. I'm in the video for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, no, they weren't huge, unfortunately. I have finally unfollowed them on all social media.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Dave.
Yeah, poor Dave. I've worked with Dave on some stuff. I did some transcriptions for him in the past, and we've hung out. I like Dave. I like his music, and I still kind of like. Well, I don't like that album so much, but the two that came after, I absolutely love still. But have you seen the lineup changes they've gone through? So on that album, they were a trio.
Mm-hmm.
It was Dave on guitar and Joe on bass and Simon on drums. And then after the second album, Joe left and Dave's brother took up bass.
Okay.
Then on the fourth album, they added a second guitar player, so it became a 4-piece. They changed that. It was Ben on second guitar, and then they changed to Gaz Marlowe playing second guitar. And now I've just seen that they've got a new drummer. So if you go and see In Me now, they're playing in Glasgow in a couple of weeks, actually.
Oh, okay, didn't know that.
The only original member is Dave. And I have to look at that and I'm like, well, it's just not In Me then, is it? It's different. It's just a totally different
You don't have it in you to go?
Plus they play Chapman's, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a strange one. So obviously the big draw to this, and the very exclusive thing about this magazine, just to move on, is the Slipknot Unmasked. It's the first time Mick Thompson was ever without his mask public. I'm sure that you said that last time we were recording.
Yeah, I believe it was an exclusive thing.
Yeah. Well, it says it on the front. There's like a sticker over his face. It says Slipknot Unmasked. Mick number 7, as you've never seen him before. And you can tell he's not wearing his mask in the photo, but you can't see his face. Like someone's peeled the sticker. So there he is.
Bring him up on screen.
He's an ordinary guy.
Yeah. Not horribly disfigured or... I mean, to be fair, he looked exactly like what you'd expect him to look like.
Yeah.
It just looks like your average metalhead.
Yes, he is a greasy-haired mosher, like the rest of us.
Yeah.
I didn't really read through this article.
No, I didn't read for it either, to be fair, because, I mean, just really when we're looking through these magazines, we're just looking at things to laugh at and see what people's opinions were on things and gear and stuff, because it's probably not that interesting to sit and read through an entire interview looking for nuggets of information.
Of course not. This is a good quote though, Mick Thompson. I could play Sweet Picked Arpeggios at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I don't think Kurt Cobain could, but he wrote Smells Like Teen Spirit and I didn't. He was a genius that wrote great songs, and that deserves credit.
Mick's always had his head on his shoulders.
Yeah, didn't expect the music that Mick played for it to basically be like, well, Kurt Cobain writes good songs, but I mean, you can't deny that Smells Like Teen Spirit is a fucking incredible banger.
Yeah.
Just how it is.
Good to see Mick Thompson is still alive, though. Remember after he had that knife fight with his brother or brother-in-law or something like that? Got stabbed in the neck or something.
Usual, isn't it?
Just lunatic. Love him.
Crazy motherfuckers.
But totally huge influence. And it was a really bad time for me to get into the Offspring. What's the pink thing? It's the Thompson thing, isn't it? That picture of Mick.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, it's just iconic, isn't he? I don't know why I tagged that. I guess I just saw it and was like, oh, I love him so much. But this was a really bad time to get into the Offspring.
You?
Yeah. This is a terrible time to get into the Offspring because Conspiracy of One is like, I don't know, 2001? That album maybe 2001?
Pass.
I should check, but too much effort. Before that, you've got Americana, which was obviously huge for them, and you got Ixnay and the Hombre before that, and like Smash, and Ignition. Like those are all awesome. Mm-hmm. So read this and then started getting really, really into The Offspring. And then was absolutely hyped for their new album to come out. And unfortunately, that new album was Splinter, which has like Hit This on it. Yeah. And Spare Me the Details and When You're in Prison, which it's not even a rock
against the wall.
Exactly, yeah.
There's Levi's idol with his favourite guitar that he pretends he doesn't have upstairs.
Yeah, see that guitar? I've got that upstairs. Oh, why didn't I bring it down? It's literally one of those ones as well with the hate and the... Oh, no.
No, that's like
that's the top end one that also has Mick on the 12th fret. Damn it. That's his BC Rich custom shop one.
Yeah. Regardless, you're very close to it.
Yeah.
And I think the next one was just one of those...
I've tagged some gear.
Wait a minute, you're right. It's not... I was going to say it's one of those pop quizzes, but it's not. It's not the pop quiz. This is a Line 6 Pod XT.
What do you think they gave it?
I know, because we spoke about this in the last episode. 5 out of fucking 5.
Line 6 Pod XT.
Every time.
So what are their closing thoughts on it?
Will it improve my life? Not as much as winning the lottery, but it will give you a fully produced signal chain with all the elements in place to get just about any amp effect sound you can think of. Great for direct recording. And that band job at Butlins if they ever manage to kidnap you again. When the USB drivers come on stream, the Pod XT will be an essential appendage to any guitarist's computer. Not wrong. Not wrong. I mean, we've moved towards VSTs, but that was generally how it started.
Yeah, fair. Dreadful tones, though. Right?
There's another bit of tech you've marked in one of the magazines that's even better. Like, even better. Anyway, we'll move on.
So there's that one. Let's blast through. This is summer 2003. Tom Morello on the cover.
Selling things yet again.
Yeah.
Great anti-capitalist there.
Yeah. Tom Morello, the world's most exciting guitarist, gives you a lesson. Fantastic. And this also has, so The Darkness were in this one, in this issue as well. And it had a tab for Growing on Me. Mm-hmm. And I remember
which is
learning
definitely
that.
a song about genital warts.
Do you think?
Think of the lyrics. All of them.
I mean, I thought it was about like heroin addiction.
No.
Wes Borland playing a broom, and this is where, Fred Durst says he wrote all of my guitar parts. That's incredibly inaccurate.
It was Shred Dust that done it. For any of you who haven't seen the Shred Dust videos, go and look it up. It's terrible.
I mean, what an issue. I'm just scrolling through it, and the riff that you get taught in the beginning is Electric Six's Gay Bar.
Well, it was the riff of the month, to be fair.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Just right up there.
ESP, LTD, The Grinch.
That was a fucking ugly guitar.
Yeah. Alkaline Trio. Oh,
the
content, mate. Nothing Face. These are all just bands that just no idea. No idea.
I heard that name before.
I remember them. Oh, The Chain. Quality bit of tab here. Check that out. I'll bring that up to the screen.
For those of you that can't read music like me,
just didn't bother printing any tab. Just the tab lines are there, but
that's great.
So The Chain. Dum. Do, do, dum, do, 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 do. That was the first thing I ever learned on guitar.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's a cool riff, to be fair.
Yeah. That was like a long time before I played the guitar. Years before I played guitar. I was around a friend's house and they were like, look, you play this. And I was like, okay. They're like, put your finger here, do this.
Kieran's got a load of my Ormsby at the moment, and he sent me a video and he was like, mate, there's something wrong with this guitar because I keep getting this this metallic sound through the guitar, and it sounds it's like ringing. It's almost like a chain, and then plays the riff to the chain. I'm like, you're a fucking dickhead, man. So funny.
I don't know why I didn't tag this, right? For the Love of Goth. Remember how big Goth was in 2003, thanks to Marilyn Manson and The Matrix? Oh,
you know who I hated for that full fucking time? I still hate them. Him.
Oh, yeah.
Love metal.
You know what? I've been, in the gym, I've been listening to total nostalgia thing, right? I went on Spotify and just found a Kerrang playlist, like a 2000s Kerrang playlist.
Oh, no.
And it's amazing. Like, I just know every song on there. It's songs I've not heard for 15 years, right? Like Finch, Letters to You and things like that comes on.
Banger.
And I'm like, I've not heard this in 15 years or whatever. And I'm like, the chorus comes in, I'm like singing all the harmonies to it. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, banger of a tune. But there are a few examples of bands that would come on that just made me want to punch my own dick off. One of them was him.
Yes.
Buried Alive by Love.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Nancy has a him tattoo.
course she does.
She's got a heartogram in here.
Of course she does. Every woman her age has one, don't they?
Probably.
It was
some
that. And
reason.
you know what else? You'll hate me for this one.
Of course I will.
Deftones. Shove it.
You don't like Deftones?
It was a good example because Deftones are in the Minerva's. Minerva's a cool tune.
Minerva's a class tune.
But Shove It, right? You know, like that verse. I think that single-handed. You know, I don't really like Deftones, but I honestly think it's because of that one tune. Because I heard it and like the main riff is heavy as fuck, super cool. The chorus is super heavy and like just the screaming, shove it, shove it, shove. Like that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
But then I think of the verse, right? And you think of the videos like skateboarding through the halls of school and
No,
and
that's
shit like
back to school.
Okay, yeah, okay. I guess I probably should have listened to watch the video. I can remember. I'm putting the song "Shove It" to that video. But
If I remember correctly, the video for Shove It's them standing on like a weird pier and there's sharks about or something.
Okay. Just think of the verse to that song, right? And how laid back everything in it is. It's like super laid back.
Aye.
It's laid back to the point where Chino can't even be bothered to sing in tune. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And he is so obnoxiously out of tune.
Oh, aye.
But
he's never in tune.
I know.
That's Chino's appeal.
Yes. And I couldn't put it into words when I was younger, but on a subconscious level, like it just annoyed me.
I can understand that. Yeah. I do get that. I do.
I like a lot of their new stuff is a lot better.
I really, really, really love the Deftones, actually.
I've been meaning to give their new album a go, so I'll probably give that a spin in the gym.
What one's that?
Don't know.
Gore?
Their last album, whatever the last album was.
I think it's called Gore.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's not Koi no Yokan, and it's definitely not Diamond Eyes.
Jesus. 13 Reasons Goth has risen again, right?
Put
Do you know what number one is?
Marilyn Manson?
Nope.
Hot Chicks?
Columbine.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Goths turn nasty. Columbine. On April 20th,
YouTube's getting
1990,
demonetised.
Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold walked into their school in Columbine, Colorado, with their long black coats concealing guns and murdered 12 classmates and one teacher. Apparently, that's one of the reasons that Goth has risen again. What an awful thing to write in an article.
It really is, and
especially when their next point is The Matrix Reloaded kicks ass.
Is that because they both wear trench coats? Fucking idiots, man.
Emily Strange is better than Hello Kitty. Remember Emily Strange?
I do. I remember the Emily Strange fucking SG.
Oh, my girlfriend at the time had one.
Oh, your girlfriend at the time had bad taste.
Yep. And one of these gothic Les Pauls. Yeah.
A mate of mine, one of the Gothic Explorers. That was pretty cool. With the 12 and Roman numerals and the 12th fret.
Right, yeah.
Everyone else was blank. That was as close to like a completely black guitar as I've ever liked.
They've said the pioneers have reformed. So flick through the gig listings these days and, you know, you're going to see Sisters of Mercy, Susie and the Banshees. Yeah. Cool.
Can we stop talking about goths?
I know. They make guitars for goths and they've got the Gothic Les Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Because smiley happy dance culture is dead. It's not though, is it? Because goths are sexy too. I mean, that's well established, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A goth girl is...
You ever seen the intro to Blade when they're in the rave?
Oh, yeah.
That's sexy. That's goth.
Yeah.
That's how all goths act. They dance in blood in vampire clubs.
The movies of Tim Burton.
Definitely not a good thing.
Because goth lyrics are just brilliant, apparently. I'm trying to see if they've got any actual examples. Okay, so they've written the whole goth aesthetic has always provided songwriters with a rich seam of imagery, and now writing dark songs is even easier with random goth lyric generator. Simply log on, click on the random lyric button, and it's all there for you. A quick look gave Total Guitar the following genius couplet. Your touch whispers nocturnal carrion, thine eyes drink velvet deception. See, there's a catchy goth chorus right there. So I like how they're being, you know, semi-funny with it, but it's really hard to laugh at it when point one was a school shooting.
Yeah.
That was their reason.
A horrendous massacre. Was Columbine not sometime round about then?
1999, so 4 years before.
4 years.
But there is a quiz. I'm going to have to do this quiz with you, Mike. How goth are you?
Not.
Your favourite colour is white, blood red, or black, like your soul? You can already see the kind of quiz we're going for.
Yeah. I can only answer red because black and white aren't colours, they're tones.
Oh, okay. What do you look for in a prospective partner? Sense of humour, good looks, or a milky white throat? I feel you're putting a bit too much thought into this.
Yeah, A
I
and
want
B.
gut instincts. Okay,
So you can
fine.
pick whatever one you want.
What do you keep on your bedside table? An alarm clock, contraceptives, or a book of shadows?
That is a trick question. A giant dildo.
Okay, yep, true. Your life up until now has been a right laugh, up and down, or an endless sorrowful requiem.
Fuck off.
I know she's probably not watching this, but Katie, did you write this quiz?
Aye, back in 2003.
Yeah. Which of the following bands most appeals to you? Busted, Depeche Mode, or Temple of Baal?
I'm going to say none.
You drive past a ruined cathedral. You see just a pile of bricks, some rundown old building, or a terrible beauty.
Some rundown terrible.
Total Guitar, you go away.
Yes.
Sinead Quinn, no idea who you are.
You've done enough.
Let's bin off that quiz.
Yeah, fuck the pub quizzes.
Jay Mascis. Oh, mate.
Albums, again.
Well, so here in albums, they've put Muse's Absolution. They didn't even put the right cover on it for some reason. They've literally put like the promo cover on there.
Fucking hell.
They will have been sent as a press, but you know they've got the Mars Volta's deloused in the Comatorium, which they also gave 5 stars.
Which deserves 5 stars because it's fucking wild.
Yeah, so
I love getting tombed on there. There you go.
Yeah.
You got a death
I only gave that 3. American Pie, the wedding of official soundtrack. Now that is probably like my wife's dream album. But do you know what else? Do you know what else had a profound influence on me, or in terms of advertising? That Tremonti SE that I saw in every single magazine. I wanted one of those so bad, and I had no idea who Mark Tremonti was. I just knew that I wanted one because it was black.
It looked cool.
It looked cool.
Oh yeah.
And then I found out who Creed were, and I was like, oh my god, thank God I didn't buy one of those. And then Alter Bridge came out, and I was like, okay, a little bit more acceptable now.
Yeah.
The first Alter Bridge album, at the time I thought it was great, now I think it's dreadful, but as they went on, they became much cooler.
Not too long ago I went back and listened to the first Creed album, that Weathered.
Yeah.
Good lord. No, my favourite one, and I recommend that anybody who has access to YouTube, obviously everybody listening, go and watch, right? The music video for Creed Bullets. Have you seen that?
I've not.
No. Scott Stapp is some sort of angel flying around. Like a digital angel, like it's like a computer render him. It is fucking horrendous, man. Go and watch it. It's so funny. We need to watch it after this.
Here's the famous, I mentioned this before, the Tom Morello guitar workout that I studied and practiced.
Chromatics.
Yeah, which is just chromatic fingerings moving up and down the neck and a couple of riffs and some little legato patterns. There's a Steph Carpenter thing here.
Mm-hmm. Big handsome bastard.
Yeah, Reefer Madness, right?
How can a man who plays fairly plain guitars always have beautiful signatures? Always.
Yeah. Well,
Always.
he's new one. He's new ESP. Yeah. It's just one pickup and it's purple. It doesn't do anything for me. Okay. I liked this though. I read maybe this also formed an opinion because I didn't want to be a junkie like my parents. Carpenter on why you'll rarely see him without a joint in his hand. I smoke weed because I enjoy it. Mentally, it just keeps everything in check. I'm not a manic personality or anything. I don't have extreme highs or lows, but it makes everything just right. Does it help me to play better? Well, it's good for writing songs because it takes away all of the distractions. Sometimes I wish that's the way I felt all the time. I wish I could be that way even when I wasn't stoned. And there's a picture of him smoking a big joint. Joint. So that I mean, and again, picture of him smoking a that's him, isn't it? That's his persona. Not persona. That's who he is.
Yes.
And then there's a tab of Minerva. Probably learn that really, shouldn't I? Oh look.
You should learn it. You should definitely learn it.
Yeah, I like I say, I'm kind of itching to check out the new album because everyone was banging on about it when it came out.
Really? I didn't hear good things about it.
The Darkness. Oh, mate. Just mate.
It's incredible how quickly they rose to how high they were in their career and then just plummeted.
Yeah, well, I think when you've got a smack habit and money appears...
yeah,
that's a way to drive
and
people
a lot of
apart.
open doors to people who probably want to give you it and the strongest shit, cheap and free.
Simon and Garfunkel, Scarborough Fair.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there.
The Minutemen, Corona.
For she once was a true love of mine. No.
The intro theme to Jackass?
I was wondering why there was a picture of the Jackass guys in a fucking... Oh, is that what that is? Right, okay.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, bit of Chili Peppers.
Chances are I learnt that when I was younger, but I don't remember.
This was like a huge impact on me as a young kid, like just being able to get a magazine that had a bunch of tabs of random things in there and help me to learn a little bit about this and a little bit about that.
Know what I loved? Ed Shed.
Yeah.
Ed Shed was good.
Daisy Rocks. Yeah.
Throw them to the sun.
Oh, look at this. An Alesis guitar effects unit, multi-effects unit. Obviously got 5 stars. 5 stars. Bargain of the year, apparently.
You plug the guitar in it, 5 stars.
Yeah. Indie ILP. Look at that disgusting Les Paul copy. 5 stars. Fantastic.
Freshman 5 stars.
Oh, a vintage Wraith Met. Now that wasn't the one I had. That was like mine was more like SGE.
Aye.
But it had the pointy headstock and shit. They only gave that 3 stars.
Had a vintage Strat that was quite nice. Right. Super Strat.
Oh, was that Amplitude?
That doesn't mean any of you people. A mutual friend of ours had one.
Amplitude Live software.
Oh.
Look at that. 4, quick to get going, some believable sounds to start experimenting with. Against, manual could be more comprehensive. Computers don't always work the way that you want them to. They also did these dream setup rigs where,
no one dreamed of a Laney linebacker. Look at it.
But that Les Paul Platinum, the silver thing, there's a review of that in one of the magazines, I'm sure, and I thought that was cool as shit. Obviously glad I didn't buy one of those now. Yeah. So, there you go. That's that issue.
Yes.
Get in the bin.
Goodbye. This one here, picked it basically because we spoke about System of a Down.
There's news on that front, actually. Not regarding System strictly, but actually, no, a couple of bits of news.
Okay.
So, John Dolmayan and the drummer and Serge Tankin, the vocalist, they are and they're doing a musical project with a couple of other people, including Tom Morello. So it's like all of the politics of music combined, right? But more interesting than that, it was pointed out just recently that there is a lot of issues between Serge and John, because you would think, like based on the history that of the things that System have always traditionally campaigned for, that they'd be an extremely liberal band, right? John is extremely conservative. And him and Serge have had some spats in comment sections on Instagram because John Dolmayan is often posting your typical like conservative viewpoints on things. Talking about how socialism is cancer and all of you hard left people, if what you want is free healthcare and not having to
call people
like getting a living wage and making sure potentially, but not that but I mean this stuff like this really makes me laugh, not because it's a genuine point, because I know it's going to really annoy people. So he put this post up where he was essentially saying like, look, we've sorted what you want. You want somewhere where there's free healthcare and you'll have a roof over your head and you don't have to worry about like you get a living wage and food and stuff like that. I can
tell what this has got to be.
Yeah, we've got a perfect place for people like that. We call it prison. A little bit of a ranting on illegals and stuff like that. Anyway, Serge kind of criticised him in the comments a couple of times, and they've had a bit of a back and forth. But I found that really interesting to see that the two of them that have played in the band so long have such
who played
different opinions.
A 1 million plus crowd celebrating the freedom of Armenia.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I like that. I like the fact that they've got such different views and that they just coexist. And that they can discuss their ideas in public. And as far as it seems to appear, like there's no personal issues between the two of those. The issues seem to be business between Darren and everyone else. So
does that not make the two of them performing on Prison Song a bit strange?
Well, so I also saw an interview just recently where like the song Artois is about Charles Manson. And John took the kind of, when asked about it, he was like, well, it could be about anyone. Like to me, when I hear that song, like I'm thinking about like, climate issues and things like that. Like that's what that's about to me. And then immediately Darren comes in and says, well, when I wrote the song I was thinking about Charles Manson. Then he goes off on this rant about how Charles Manson's often misrepresented in the news, and although he doesn't agree with murder and things like that, Charles Manson is an interesting person and had some really interesting ideas.
Interesting is a good way to put it.
Yeah, so that's the news on that front. Cool. Still no closer to a System of a Down album though.
Just disappointing, isn't it? God knows Total Guitar loved its tech. And this is something you have fucking highlighted that gives me the John de Boak, which basically makes me feel sick. Look at that.
An Optec fret-like guitar. And you know, if you asked my sister about that guitar, she would be absolutely adamant. I don't know where she got this from, but she would be absolutely adamant that I used to own one of those.
Mm-hmm. Did you have the Behringer option of it? No?
Nope. Never had a guitar with the frets light up on it. Okay. Because it's a stupid idea.
Yeah, it's just a
£399 as well. So
fucking killer, isn't it? So the 8-pin DIN connector lets you link the guitar to a laptop, giving you access to the Guitar Power software. So you've got like a jack in for your normal, and then an 8-pin DIN connector. I don't think an 8-pin DIN cable is very common. And does it come with the interface to use that 8-pin DIN cable? It's just staggering. Just learn the guitar, man. Fucking hell.
What did they put under their...
The for and the against. For, a nice guitar in its own right and a fantastic learning tool. Against, experienced players may find the concept too geeky. If they're experienced players, why are they buying a fret light up guitar anyway?
Yeah, if you're an experienced player, you're probably not spending £400 on a guitar.
On a gimmick?
Yeah, because I mean, £200 of that will be the electrics in it, so...
Alright, and this goes back to what I said about Behringer. They literally did bring something out that was exactly the same. It would have been half the price. Right. You know, that's how Behringer built themselves. With no disrespect to them, because they've done well, but aye, it was prepared to be assimilated. Shotgun. Absolutely a shotgun. So, OK computer, TJ explains the Fretlight software in terms you'll understand. This is going to be fucking terrible, and you all have to listen. Here at TG, we're suspicious of computers. For one thing, we're convinced that someday they'll turn on their creators and enslave the human race, like in the Terminator films.
So fucking edgy, aren't they?
And for another, most of the guitar software we've tried has been confusing and inaccessible, causing us to throw our laptop out of the window in a technophobic rage.
Oh, maybe that is why everything got a 5-star, because they threw it out the window and it landed on the 5 button every single time.
No one even looked at the laptop, they were just like hitting keys.
No, it makes sense now. They gave 5 stars to anything technologically advanced because they were worried that in the future it might hold it against them and come for them first. Imagine being hunted down by a Pod XT.
Yeah, at least it's become self-aware.
To be fair, I would prefer. To be fair, I would rather be bludgeoned to death by a Pod XT than have to use a Pod XT as my main tone. So,
aye, that's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair. The software that comes with the Fretlight 421 has changed our mind. We've already touched on Guitar Power. You'll get the full version included for your £399, no questions asked. I'd fucking hope so. But to let you know exactly what the Fretlight is capable of, Optec have also thrown in 30-day trials of Axmaster, guitars, and Fretlight M Player, full versions of which can be bought if you like them.
Ooh.
Both Axmaster and guitars are great fun and very intuitive. They take the Guitar Power concept and run with it. But out of the three, it was the Fretlight M Player that impressed TG. It's basically a song player, which lets you play along to the selection of classic riffs and offer many more when you buy the full version. TG has always fancied itself as a new wave virtuoso, so we chose the places Every Breath You Take and timed how long it took to nail Andy Summers' main lick. The results are pretty damn impressive. As Summers' timeless arpeggiated riff rings out, the relevant LEDs light up on the neck at the Fretlight, which makes learning this timeless track a simple case of the following the lights. Is the leathery policeman going too fast for you? No problem. The M player lets you drop the tempo without altering the pitch, or you can loop sections until you've nailed them. It's an immediate way of learning and a serious alternative to tab. Oh, in case you're wondering, we had Summer's riff down in under a minute. Beat that.
There's so much wrong with that. First of all, they don't tell you how much M player costs, which is kind of bad. Second of all, how is that useful? Cool, you can slow the track down. Unless the lights on the guitar come on before you need to play the notes, like way in advance of before you need to play the notes. Oh, and let's not hope that your hand's not covering where your finger needs to go.
Or does it move in real time once you've played the note? It recognises to move on to the next note. So essentially you've got a flashing fretboard. Right,
okay. Yeah, so just shocking, but a serious alternative to tab.
Optec. Just put it on the credit card. Come on, quick.
You want it, yeah.
Bam! Not.
Absolutely. I mean, innovation's always cool, and I like seeing people try new things, but that's the sort of thing that you look at and go, come on, guys, that's not going to take off.
It's not innovation. It's not a solution to a real problem.
You know what? I actually do regret the fact that we don't have one of these to hand, and I should probably check eBay and see if I could pick one, because that's got to be dirt cheap now.
Yeah, I'd think so.
Yeah, that I'm going to look.
You
on
can pick
eBay
up the
on my phone.
Behringer ones. I think they were like 40 quid last time
But
I
the
looked.
thing I'm interested in is the software, because I'd love to give that a go and see genuinely how that works. Because are they licensing the are they licensing the songs, and they have the actual songs in the?
They must have to. My only question is, if we get one, can we somehow get some Buried Alive tracks in it? I'd love to see how somebody can play that guitar.
Yeah, I wonder if you're able to
Handbag.
program your own songs in there.
Handbags out at dawn.
So what's it called? The Optec.
The Optec Fretlight. The chances of you finding one of these on eBay are slim to
You think?
almost none. Mate, it's an obscure guitar from 16 years ago. I have seen kind of more modern versions of that thing, but rather than it being installed in the fretboard, it's like LEDs that
there's
go
one
in
here.
by the actual... Shut up.
Yeah, it's one here. It's new.
Shut up.
It's new.
Fuck off.
New. 250 quid.
You can buy it if you want.
Brand new and unused with one inoperable LED.
So Optec are still going then?
And it's compatible with Guitar Pro 6 and 7. That's interesting. Huh. Very cool.
To be fair to them then, if that is a thing that's still going and it's
I
moved
don't know if
with
it's
the
still
times...
going. They can't still be going, surely.
Well, if it's...
You see what else is in there, and I'm just going to...
If they're pushing it for Guitar Pro 6 and 7, there must be something.
Point, actually.
You know what I mean? There must be somebody updating the software.
So fretlight.com still exists.
Guitars behind bars. From God-fearing country legends to Satan-worshipping metalheads, the guitar world is full of pesky pickers who have run-ins with the law. Judge TG selects itself favourite offenders from a growing list of murderers, miscreants, and mad bastards.
So I brought this up because we talked about... who was it that committed some sort of crime?
You've been really vague here.
We talked about artists that... Oh, okay, it was the singer from As I Lay Dying?
Yeah, Tim Lambesis.
Yeah. So, and me saying how, well, like, he served his time, unless we believe that you can't serve time for things and, you know, have paid the price type thing. Mm-hmm. And then I was trying to list off all of these other artists that have committed terrible crimes, like actual murders and shit, that we are all right with. So there's your example of people that have also done terrible things.
Mm-hmm. None of which I listen to, which is good. I've got no interest in listening to Pete Doherty. I would stamp on his head. I wouldn't piss in his mouth if he was on fire.
Wow.
Yeah,
right. I mean the Fretlight guitars. You can buy them new on their website. They've got them on sale at the moment for $280.
They are still going.
And they are compatible with Guitar Pro 7, and they also make some nice ones, like a $900 one.
Shut up.
Huh?
You are pulling my
They
piss
also
up.
have artist autographed Fretlight guitars. I wonder who this is autographed by.
I don't believe you.
And there's a sale on at the moment to save $25. Wow.
Hold me back.
Okay, so they've got one. I can't see, but it looks like Alice Cooper. It could be Alice Cooper or Alice Cooper's guitarist. Yeah, there's lots of. Sorry, it's going to all be Orianthe, isn't it? Because she endorsed it. I remember her endorsing Fretlight.
Really?
Yeah, that's probably why she plays so bad.
Just look at him.
Oh, Darren.
This is what peak performance looks like. You might not like it, but this is what it is.
Yep.
Look at him.
If only we could be as cool as Darren Malakian.
To be fair to him, though, he's got a fucking sparkling Iceman, which is cool as shit.
He's back playing Ibanez now as well.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because when this came out, he'd move over to the SGs, which I thought was questionable. But now I look back on it, I'm like, that's cool.
To be fair, he rocks an SG.
Yeah.
So what was he saying in this article anyway? As a human, I live for the songs that I write. I care more about the health of the song than my own health.
But we also have to remember that, so based on what we'd read in the issues between him and Serge and everyone, it was important to Darren that he was the only one allowed to do press.
Mm-hmm. And he's got some crazy photos of him just making mad faces and talking shit. Gonorrhea Gorgonzola. Not all songs are about cocks, coke and Chinese food, you know. Darren gives us a rundown on all his favourite tracks from Mesmerise. We'll go through these.
Oh, yeah.
BYOB. The song has an interesting structure where it goes into a hip-hop chorus out of a metal Celtic frost-style guitar rhythm. Lyrically, it's pretty sarcastic. Join the army, be all you can be. But I like to leave the lyrics open. Revenga.
Oh, well, before you go on, I'd say that song's pretty cut and dry on what that one's about. There's no like open-endedness to the lyrics in that.
No.
It's very to the point. But for anyone looking to for a good picking workout, that is a really good one to work on.
True.
Because if you think of the main riff to that, that's groups of four. You do that, and then when it goes to the verse, it moves over to triplets. So there's an opportunity for you to practice fours and then having to switch to playing threes. It's a good, metric modulation.
Smart arse.
I've used that with students over the years. So
Yeah. Revenga. The riff in the chorus is influenced by those old Warner Brothers cartoons. It wasn't planned that way. It's just something I've heard somewhere before in my life, and it just kind of shoots out at me that way. It revolves around different ways of getting revenge.
Good song.
Mm-hmm.
Right, song.
This cocaine feels like... It makes me feel like I'm on this song. Sorry. A wacky song, even by our standards. It contains the line, Gonorrhea Gorgonzola. It's just madness. Think of a guy running in the street singing those words. Have I ever done that? No, but I think I would like to. Crackpot. Question. Also a very good tune.
Yeah.
It's got a very prog rock type of musical movement to it. Serge came up with a lot of the arrangement. The lyrics are based around the ultimate question. Life.
Very good song.
That's it.
Oh, that whole album is very good.
Aye. Yeah. Lost in Hollywood. That song's a very touchy one for me. It's kind of like me as a child growing all that's around me. Sorry, it's kind of like a child viewing all that's around me as I grew up in LA. I like writing about cities, mainly LA and Hollywood. I like to paint a darker picture of it, as most people think it's this very glamorous place. Emotionally, it's my favourite track on the album. I'm very proud of it.
Cool.
Good tune.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole album, like I say, just great.
Yep. Albums.
Who was popular then?
Audioslave Out of Exile's on here. Billy Corgan's on here. The White Stripes. Juliet and the Licks. Weezer. Who else we got? Limp Bizkit.
Which album was that?
Unquestionable Truth.
Right.
The Tears. Instruction. Funeral for a Friend. Hours. Not a great album, but not bad. Ryan Adams and the Cardinals.
Mike's first gig, if I remember rightly.
Yes, supporting Iron Maiden. There's not really any good albums.
So what's the other thing that I put a tag on, and we'll wrap this episode up?
The other thing you put on was just one of those pub quizzes.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'll just double check.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, another pub quiz. So
cool.
We'll do those another day, eh?
Yeah.
There we go. The Jimi Hendrix signature wah. 7 signature tones that changed the world forever. That pedal that he never played.
Yeah, isn't like we could go on a half-hour rant here, and we'll do this in a future episode about signature gear for people that they never played.
Yep.
The Hendrix Gibson Strat. Yeah. Or the Jason Becker Kiesels. Or the Jason Becker Swiss Picks.
I think they were more meant to be a tribute, but at the same time, yeah, he didn't play them.
Just happens all like Vigier did it with Sean Lane. The special anniversary version of the Sean Lane signature model that was available in a colour that he never played, and they changed the input jack to like a switchcraft locking jack and things like that, different knobs and things like that. It's like Sean didn't play that.
Yeah, it's nothing like what he played.
I appreciate that the family had approved it because it's an opportunity for them to make a little bit of money, but yeah, that's the Jimi Hendrix estate making a bit of money, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything less in line with the Jimi Hendrix attitude than here's a multi-effects unit with my sounds in it.
The thing that the estate that got me for ripping the piss out of that actually was Dimes. Rock and Rita endorsing a Dime amp that was nothing like the amps they used.
Yeah.
And all of those Dean guitars, all of them.
I've got to be honest, mate, talking to Dime, of all of those Total Guitar magazines, the one I'm looking forward to most is the one where they did 2 interviews with Dimebag. The one you've got on the top is the issue after the month he died.
Yep.
But there's an issue somewhere in there where they did 2 interviews with Dime.
Is that the one where he breaks the guitar and storms out and then comes back and says sorry?
The one where he was so drunk that he threw a guitar at them across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
why they did 2 interviews, because the first one, went in the bin.
It's fucking class, isn't it?
No.
How's it no? That's Dime.
That was single-handedly the thing that made me, I read that and I thought, this guy's an asshole.
Oh, he was a bit of a wank, obviously, in that respect, but I think he was a nice dude. He just got too fucked up too much.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Rob Flynn's story about him that he wrote just after Dime had died, kind of like a eulogy for him, was really nice. Talking about how Dime was playing his guitar and he broke the headstock or something, and I think that the first time Rob had met him, they were on tour together. If I remember correctly, he broke the guitar somehow, but it was just because he was fucked up, and he turned back up at his hotel room really apologising with like Dime's prototype Washburn, so they wanted the VW sticker on it, the Dime Slime one, and like 5 bottles of mega expensive vodka, just an apology, just like, I'm really sorry man, here, have this. And they became friends after that.
That's cool.
You've seen the home videos, haven't you? The
Yes.
vlog videos from hell. You can imagine why Dean was probably an asshole sometimes, because they just got too fucked up all the time.
Yeah, they lived the life.
They did not have.
Anyway, we've gone for 2.5 hours. So, we should probably say goodbye to our I was going to say our loving listeners, but probably at this stage they probably hate our voices.
It's only me and you here, mate.
Fuck them. Yeah, that's the glory. No, literally no one is ever going to have to listen to this again. No one heard this. If anyone's heard this little part of the podcast, let us know.
Yeah, send us a message. Maybe send you something nice.
Cool. So thank you very much for listening, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies.
Subscribe to 7string.org and join in the fun.
Buy a t-shirt. Not a 7-string t-shirt, but one of ours.
One of ours. Go and
Mike,
check out the beautiful guys at Rev.
Much love. But until next time.
Bye, fuckers.